The Tudor family ruled England from 1485 to 1603, a period marked by significant transformation and turbulence. This era began with Henry VII, who established the dynasty after his victory at the Battle of Bosworth Field, ending the Wars of the Roses. His reign set the stage for a new chapter in English history. It was a time of huge change, political secrets, religious arguments, and new ways of thinking. The Reformation, initiated by Henry VIII's break from the Catholic Church, led to profound religious upheaval. This period also saw the rise of Renaissance humanism, which brought new ideas and intellectual movements to the forefront of society. The Tudors, with their exciting lives and big personalities, have fascinated people for centuries. From the opulent courts to the dramatic political machinations, their stories are filled with intrigue and drama. Monarchs like Henry VIII and Elizabeth I are particularly well known for their impactful and often controversial reigns. We often hear about powerful kings like Henry VIII and ambitious men fighting for power. Henry VIII's 6 marriages and his role in the English Reformation are legendary, and his quest for a male heir led to significant political and religious changes. But there's a whole other side to the story. The women of the Tudor era played crucial roles, often behind the scenes, in shaping the course of history. Their influence extended beyond the domestic sphere, impacting politics, religion, and culture in ways that are often overlooked. The women of the Tudor court, often forgotten in history books, were much more important than we might think. Queens like Catherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn were not just consorts but key players in the political and religious shifts of the time. Their actions and decisions had far-reaching consequences. They weren't just wives, mothers, or daughters. They were smart strategists, influential thinkers, and shapers of culture. Women like Elizabeth I, who ruled as a powerful and effective monarch, demonstrated that women could wield power and influence just as effectively as men. This video will look at the lives of 5 amazing Tudor women: Catherine Parr, Anne Boleyn, Lady Jane Grey, Mary Tudor, and Elizabeth I. Each of these women left an indelible mark on history through their courage, intelligence, and determination. These women, each in their own way, challenged what society expected of them and changed history forever. Their stories are a testament to the strength and resilience of women in a time when their roles were often limited and their contributions undervalued. Back in Tudor times, women were supposed to obey men. They were expected to be subservient, to follow the rules set by a patriarchal society, and to remain in the shadows of their fathers, husbands, and brothers. Their lives were mostly spent at home, being wives and mothers. They managed the household, took care of the children, and ensured that everything ran smoothly within the domestic sphere. This was their world, and it was a world that rarely extended beyond the home. But the Tudor queens and princesses didn't follow these rules. They broke the mold, stepping out of the domestic sphere and into the public eye. These women were not just figureheads, they were active participants in the political and cultural life of their time. They loved to learn, understood politics, and wanted to control their own lives. They were well educated, often fluent in multiple languages, and they used their knowledge to influence the world around them. They engaged in intellectual pursuits, read widely, and some even wrote books and poetry. Their stories, often untold or ignored, show a hidden world of female power. These women were not just passive observers, they were active agents of change. They navigated the complex political landscape of their time with skill and intelligence, often outmaneuvering their male counterparts. Catherine Parr, Henry VIII's 6th wife, used her position to help education and change the church. She was a patron of the arts and an advocate for religious reform. Her influence extended beyond the court, impacting the broader society. Anne Boleyn, Henry's 2nd wife, was a key player in the English Reformation, challenging the Catholic Church. Her ambition and intelligence were instrumental in the establishment of the Church of England, forever altering the religious landscape of the country. Lady Jane Grey, a super-smart queen for only 9 days, showed how intelligent women could be. Despite her brief reign, she left a lasting legacy as a symbol of intellectual prowess and tragic fate. Her story is a testament to the potential and peril faced by women in power. Mary Tudor, England's first queen, fought to bring back Catholicism and secure her throne. Her reign was marked by religious turmoil, but she demonstrated remarkable determination and resilience in the face of immense challenges. And Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, became one of England's best rulers, leading a golden age of exploration, art and peace. Her reign is often considered a high point in English history, showcasing the extraordinary capabilities of a woman in power.
I'm Catherine Parr, Henry VIII's sixth wife, the one who survived. People remember me for taking care of Henry at the end of his life, but I was much more than a nurse. I loved my faith, I wrote books, and I believed everyone, especially women, should get an education. I loved learning from a young age. I spoke French, Italian and Latin, and I read everything I could about religion and philosophy. As Queen, I encouraged learning and discussions at court. I helped my stepchildren, Edward, Mary and Elizabeth, get the best education possible. My most important contribution was my writing. I wrote several books about faith and the role of women in society. My books showed that women were just as smart as men, and they inspired other women to learn and write.
I'm Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's second wife. My story is one of ambition, love and tragedy. I was born into a noble family and received an excellent education, which was rare for women of my time. This education would later play a crucial role in my rise to power. My story is full of drama and mystery. From my early days at the Tudor court, I was known for my wit and charm. I quickly caught the eye of King Henry VIII, who was desperate for a male heir. But my journey was far from easy. My rise to power, my sudden downfall, and my part in changing the English church still fascinate people today. I was not just a pawn in the king's game. I was a player with my own ambitions. I wanted to be more than just a queen. I wanted to leave a lasting impact on England. I didn't just want to be queen. I wanted to change England. I had a vision for a new religious landscape, one that broke away from the corruption of the Catholic Church. I believed in the ideas of the Protestant Reformation and wanted to bring those changes to my country. Living in France, I learned about the Protestant movement, and I came back to England with strong new religious beliefs. My time in the French court exposed me to new ideas and philosophies that were not yet widespread in England. I was determined to bring these ideas back with me. I wanted Henry to have a son, but I also wanted to break away from the Catholic Church, which I thought was corrupt. The Church held too much power and wealth, and I believed it was time for a change. I saw an opportunity to influence Henry and push for these reforms. I used my influence on Henry to change the Church. I whispered in his ear, convincing him that breaking away from Rome would not only allow him to marry me, but also give him control over the Church's wealth and power in England. I made alliances with powerful people who also wanted to reform the Church. Together we worked behind the scenes, planning and strategizing to make our vision a reality. It was a dangerous game, but I was willing to take the risk. I was good at politics and I became queen. My coronation was a grand affair, symbolizing not just my rise to power, but also the beginning of a new era for England. But my position was always precarious, and I had many enemies. My work led to the Act of Supremacy in 1534, which made Henry the head of the Church of England, separating us from Rome. This was a monumental shift, and it changed the course of English history forever. My legacy is a complex one, but it is undeniable that I played a crucial role in the Reformation.
Lady Jane Grey was queen for only 9 days, but she's remembered as a brilliant scholar caught in a power struggle.
I loved learning. The Renaissance was all about studying old texts, thinking critically, and believing in individual potential.
Jane was incredibly smart and loved to learn. She studied Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and other languages. She read everything she could about philosophy and the Protestant Reformation.
My teachers were amazed by how much I knew. They said I was like the great scholars of ancient times.
Because Jane was royal and Protestant, she became a pawn in political games. When Edward VI died, her ambitious relatives made her queen to stop the Catholic Mary Tudor from taking the throne.
But Mary had a stronger claim and my reign ended quickly. I was imprisoned and later executed at only 16.
I wanted to help people and make their lives better through medical research. It was hard work, but I believed in it.
Mary Tudor made important discoveries in medicine. She dealt with difficult political situations while making medical science better, showing people the power of healing.
I knew that to keep England powerful, I had to be good at diplomacy and strategy. I always thought about the future of my kingdom when I made decisions.
Elizabeth I was a brilliant strategist. She was excellent at international politics, making sure England stayed strong and safe. The women of the Tudor era changed history. What they did in politics, science, and other areas still affects us today. They were strong, intelligent, and determined. Learning about these amazing Tudor women helps us understand how powerful and influential they really were. Their accomplishments remind us that women have always played important roles in history, even if those roles were hidden. Their stories continue to inspire us today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more content on culture and the future.